Hello and welcome. In this nugget, we'll be looking at the SLNX integration with the Ricoh Smart Device Print and Scan app for iOS devices. First, an overview. Once a customer has loaded the Ricoh Print Scan app onto their iOS device and mapped to a shared printer available from the SLNX Secure Print Manager server, they will be able to submit print jobs. The jobs will be stored in a queue. The customer would then log in to the MFP either using their badge or manually using the op panel. The MFP would communicate with the SPM server, locate the jobs for that user in the queue, and then return those jobs and only those jobs for that particular user to the MFP screen where they can be printed. What we're going to do now is move over to the Ricoh Print Scan app. I'm going to readjust my screen here. We're going to launch the Print Scan app and we're going to go into settings. Once in settings, to integrate with SLNX, we will only need to visit two sections, the device section and the authentication section. We will need to go into the authentication section first. Once in the authentication section, we will enable user authentication and we will input the username and password for the user. In this case, iPad user, and the password for iPad user. Once that's done, we're going to exit out of there and we're going to move over to devices. Once in the devices section, we're going to add a device by using this search menu. Because SLNX uses a SPM server or Secure Print Manager server, we will need to search for server. So we'll enable that function and we are going to put in the host name and or IP address for that server. In our case, it's SLNX Eric, and because it's joined to the domain, we're going to use its fully qualified domain name. The next thing we'll have to do is put in the share name. In our case, it's SPM. Domain name here. And then, in this case, this is really just to search that particular server. So we're going to go ahead and use the same name, iPad user. And that user's password. That's all the information that's needed. After that's done, and if all of our information here is correct, we'll go ahead and select the search button. It will go out and it'll start searching and gaining access to the available shared options on the SPM server. Depending upon network functionality and bandwidth, that may take a minute, but our bandwidth here is good, so it is attached to the server. We have our printer. All right, there can be more than one listed. In our case, we would select the printer we want and then click on Add Device. Our device has been added. At this point, the setup is done. In order to print, your end user would start in the application. Within the application, we're going to select the upload or open in function. Once we've hit the upload button, we're going to select open in. From the open in menu, we will navigate over to the print scan option. Select that option. Once that screen comes up, it will leverage our printers. We can make any changes we need over here on the right hand side. In our case, I am really not going to make any changes. I am simply going to select print for this document. At this point, the jobs are being submitted to the shared printer, and then from the shared printer the jobs will be routed to the holding area, the spool area, or the queue area. Once the jobs have been successfully submitted, you will be returned to this screen. Now your user would go to the MFP, and I've brought up the screen monitoring tool here of our MFP, and we're going to go ahead and get logged in. I'm now inputting the password for that user. I'm going to refresh the screen monitoring tool. All right, we are successfully logged in. You can see down here on the lower right hand side, iPad user. I am going to select the secure print screen. Do one more refresh. There's our print job. At this point, all we really have to do is select print. Our job is now being printed. Once the job is printed out, by default, those jobs will be deleted from the secure print area. So, in this video, we looked at the secure print app, the settings needed, authentication settings on the iPad, mapping to the secured printer. We submitted a print job, we logged in at the MFP, and retrieved and printed our print jobs. I hope that you found this nugget useful. If you would like to see any additional nuggets available up on RLI, please drop me an email at eric.jones@ricousa.com. Thank you.